There was a new person. However, this new person didn't seem interested in socializing. It's another lounge. Strange, since most taverns are rarely this big. Then again, it's possible that this place isn't even a tavern to begin with. The only thing that seems consistent has been the wood aesthetic of the place and alcohol. Everyone here was probably a drinker, an ultimate, and has been cursed with a mark. Now that he thinks about it, he never bothered to ask anyone about the curse mark. Not that socializing was his top priority, but that information could have been useful in some way or another. While he doesn't care about the full mystery behind the situation, if the information can help him get out, then it's worth it, right? The person across the room doesn't come off as an immediate threat. However, when he had entered the room, there was a moment of direct eye contact. The behavior of the stranger was nonchalant, but not in a careless kind of way. The eye contact was confident and deliberate. Either the stranger doesn't realize that he could be a threat, or the stranger knows that he isn't a threat, and that alone caused the thief to be a bit cautious. He's been standing there, analyzing the situation. What should he do? Should he risk conversing with the stranger, or should he examine the area for more clues? Risking it isn't his style. Obviously, this is the better choice. Without a second thought, the thief kept a secretive eye on the stranger while investigating the room. Okay, think. What's something to investigate here? What's something that stands out? Um, there's an ungodly amount of wood and alcohol here. I should look at one of those things first, right? Right, wood. Even for a tavern-inspired building, this is too much wood. The thief started to inspect the wall nearby, thinking to himself, what kind of information could he possibly gather from looking at wood? Come on, think. Right. I've seen this kind of wood before. Piecing through his memory, he begins to gather information, but more importantly, were any of them useful? The thief couldn't help but to feel like he's forgetting something important, as if he should know more, but something was blocking that memory. However, he was able to remember little details. A few years ago, he broke into a manor to loot the place for valuables. The mistress that lived there was known for loving jewelry and had a few expensive ones. When he snuck in, he was able to steal her jewelry box that was filled with rings and necklaces. When he was selling the jewelry, the shop owner also wanted the box. Because I remember the shop owner said that box was made of an expensive kind of wood, a special kind of mahogany. This wall is exactly like that jewelry box, just has a different kind of varnish. So that means whoever built this place is loaded with money. How not surprising. No fucking shit. In other words, I got nothing. The person who built this place may not even be involved with this magical kidnapping anyways. Great. This lead isn't going anywhere. Checking the alcohol behind the counters would be the next thing to do. However, that stranger is still leaning against it. He doesn't exactly want to get too close to the person, but there aren't really many options. As he walks closer to the counter, keeping an eye on them. The person finally spoke. So, do you think it's blood? Or wine? What? Behind the counter. Cautiously, the thief walked closer. It was nothing gruesome, but clearly, there was more information to gather here than the wall. It's old. Yeah, it is. The thief got closer to the floor. Blood and alcohol are things that the thief had more knowledge in. Based on how the liquid dried up, it's most likely blood. When being exposed to oxygen, blood changes color over time. It can turn brown very quickly, within the next day. However, this isn't recent. In fact, someone tried to wash out the blood, but the stain of it remains. With the amount of blood, it could have been fatal. And if it was fatal, that would mean someone was here to clean it up. But the question is, what does that mean? What do you think? Is it blood or wine? The stranger seems a bit pushier than earlier, as if they were testing me. It's blood. Yeah, it is blood. You think this tavern had a freak accident here? Not likely. Something caught the thief's attention. He was so focused on the blood, he didn't pay attention to one of the counter's drawers. There was something carved into one of them. That right there isn't a random symbol. It's an underground cryptolect among rogues and thieves alike. Something that is called Thieves' Cant. Depending on the area, Thieves' Cant can look different. However, this symbol was something he knew. It was a warning. It means dangerous. Normally, a thief or a rogue would mark a place for others to let them know if the place was previously looted, well guarded, or in this case, dangerous. What's wrong? Nothing, but this wasn't an accident. Good to know. I don't suppose you have a name. No, I don't have a name. Figures. Well, ultimate thief, I'm Meso Jelenovic, the ultimate archer. You knew. Yeah, I know a crook when I see one, and you're not the ultimate rogue. She went missing a year ago and is believed to be dead. So that just leaves the mysterious ultimate thief that has no identifications, just a vague description. You seem to fit the bill. Well, good to know. You're an archer, but you appear to be weaponless. But you aren't you? You appear to be weaponless too, but I'm guessing you're not. Do you have any idea why we're here? No clue. Great. Do you know how many people are here? No, but there is quite a few. Good to know. As awkward as the conversation was, it was interrupted by another person. Oh, hey, Meso. And, oh, would you look at that? A new person. Great. Well, Meso and whoever you are, our situation's looking like shit. You'll never guess what I found.